Tonight, we're going on a private RIP tour that costs $5,000. What all is included in that price? How many times can we go through the houses? Come along with us, let's find out. Tonight, we are joined by friends and family, including Jessica, my mother, Julie, and Amy. We will all be going on this tour adventure together, seeing what we can discover.
So right at the beginning of the tour, you walk upstairs to the VIP area and you can get food from the events. You can even get a walking taco.
DIY walking taco.
Look at this.
I'm definitely gonna have one of those.
A walking taco.
But it is the vegan chili.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's the vegan one.
But it's normal sour cream and cheese, so.
So it's not
There's
vegan.
some Diablo sauce.
Let's see what else is here. We got the pepperoni
Ooh,
pizza coffins.
but they're in miniature.
We got
these are the chicken skewers from
the spinal columns.
Whatchaboblet.
Oh, they have the corn chowder here too. That had the shrimp, which is cold.
Well,
It
it's
is-
separate this time.
What else? Across from here, they have
Is that? Oh, it's an
They have
empanada.
guava
and
cheese
cheese. Oh my
empanadas.
gosh.
Look at this. Guava and cheese empanadas.
Hey, look, there's also the vegan blondies, which we tried in our vegan food video. These don't look
Anything like what
anything like, yeah, they told us that they were cooked and everything, but seeing these now, I'm gonna have to try one and see if it's just as sticky as the.
Well, and
What?
and this has green stuff on it.
That one had green stuff on it.
Did it?
This has like chocolate chips on it though,
Interesting.
but it's vegan. This is a display too. That's cool. Macarons.
Look over here, Aubrey. You can make tacos.
Oh, taco.
Pork
carnitas.
Pork carnitas. I can speak Spanish
Sometimes.
sometimes. So you don't have to actually have dinner before here because you can get the
don't.
food here.
We've learned that now.
And you get to watch the opening ceremony from up here.
Do
From
you
above.
want to show them the view that we have?
Let's go look at the view.
So you want to get here early so you can snag a spot to see, because people all filter out here when it gets time.
But you can see the crowd down here. Tons of people waiting.
Not as packed as it.
But the event
Can
starts in an
be.
hour, Aubrey. So it's
yeah,
only
but still, I mean,
it's only beginning. And the ceremony will happen there. So let's get some food.
okay.
We have emerged from the shadows to
Not my Stay Puft Band.
That already housed deadly things. Armor from different killer societies, different idols from different cultures that are deadly. And they've just recently got a new acquisition of the rotting stone. It's a stone that looks like it's rotting like flesh, though it's made out of a rock. And ever since they brought it there, all the other exhibits started coming alive and doing what they were meant to do from their cultures. So as you go through there, you'll see different cultures represented in different rooms, different deadly exhibits that were already there before the stone, but they all start to get imbibed with the spirit of the deadly stone and coming alive and killing everybody or taking them over in some cases. You'll see some of the staff in the museum. You're meant to be going in there tonight to be on your first night watch duty, but everything's already terribly wrong by the time you get there. As we go out of that one, we're going straight into the second one, Slaughter Cinema Part 2. I do want to tell you about it here where you can hear me a little bit, but once we're back there, we're going to end up going out of one, and it's only a few steps over to Slaughter Cinema 2. Slaughter Cinema 2 is our second time doing that house. We've been here in the past, but it's Slaughter Cinema 1. So the story behind what it is, there was a company that made horror movies, in the 60s and 70s, let's say, called Slaughter Cinema, kind of like a modern grindhouse kind of movie theater now. And so each of the rooms represents one of their pits. And as you go from room to room, and this year's a little bit better than the last time we did it, there's a really clear sign where you go into a room and there's big posters up for what the next movie is. Each of the movies only has about 1 or 2 rooms to quickly understand what that movie is supposed to be about and what it really is. Not everybody knows this. Slaughter Cinema Haunted House is one of the or ideas that we have for haunted houses that haven't been fully made yet. And it's a great way for us to test them out because the last time we did this, we got the Yeti house. We've done it twice since then. Big fan favorites. See which one you like the best. Maybe you'll see it as a whole house in the future.
I know which one I want.
Which one?
I'll tell you after.
Okay, tell us afterwards. Okay, we're going to stop and do a check of which one you think. I have a favorite too.
Yeah.
So we're going to go start with the museum.
This video today is sponsored by my boomer mom. And she's gonna give us her boomer review of the haunted houses. So we just did the museum deadly exhibits. What is your boomer review of that house?
Not super scary. It reminded me of The Mummy.
Okay.
And I kind of liked it.
The other house we went through was Slaughter Cinema 2. What did you think of that house?
Several jump scares got me. I liked some of the house and some of it I didn't, a little bit gory. Overall, it was a boomer scale of 1 to 5, about a 3. Okay.
All right, on to the next one.
All right.
They're Universal bloggers. It goes pretty deep. It's a lot of backstory. And over the last couple of years, we've been doing the monsters sort of meet kind of haunted houses. It's its own canon, but it still kind of plays along with that stuff. You've got the granddaughter of Helsing, the main monster killer from the stories. Her name is Saskia. She's the last remaining person from that bloodline. At the beginning of our story, it was just she and her brother were left, and her brother was ambushed and killed by Dracula's daughters. When we walk in the first room, what you're going to see is she's at his gravestone, crying and praying, and she finds out at the family crypt there's a secret back room with all kinds of weapons, monster killing weapons, and she decides to take up arms. She finds out that the crossbow that belonged to the family, not only were they a family of monster hunters, but seemed to be imbued with special powers to be able to hunt these monsters down and kill them. So while she's out there seeking revenge, she goes on many adventures. She bumps into an Moon, the female version of the Mummy, and on her travels, she bumps into a very strange-looking figure that's been dismembered by a pack of werewolves. And she finds out that's Frankenstein's monster, and the bride of Frankenstein is very upset at the werewolves for just killing her mate. At the last minute, they decide to team up and go after all the monsters of the world. So there's a whole bunch of side stories going on with this. There's the amulet of an Moon, which they're trying to capture because and the bloodlines. So that's why they're hunting all the different monsters.
All
It's
right.
There's a lot to the backstory, but I hope you have a good time through this one. All female cast. We're pretty proud of it. Female costume designers, makeup artists, female set designers who created this entire house. It's all women-led house.
And the soundscape too, they said.
Soundscape,
The
everything.
composer, yeah.
Yeah, the soundscape, anything that was made for this house, created by the women that work in our company. This one's really cute, and I say cute. It's a haunted house. I would take a little child in here, but for us, like it has a happier, lighter sort of feeling to it. The Goblin Feast is a big fall celebration, like Halloween or Thanksgiving, the big party, and except the feast is, but they're all getting ready for it. As we go through some of the things they wanted us to know about in my training, there are different classes, so you'll notice we're going to the peasant class area neighborhoods first, and as we go deeper and deeper, we go through some of the upper class goblins, all the way up to the Goblin King, who they're celebrating this feast with. Also, there's all kinds of other creatures in there. Hobgoblins, you'll see giant trolls, or parts of them. There's all kinds of other different creatures are in there, ogres, all those things. Also, strangely, you seem to be Irish. Okay. You'll know what I'm talking about as soon as you walk in. You'll hear it. Oh, they're Irish. All right, you're ready to go see us?
It's time for another Boomer review. The first house we went to was the Bloodlines. What is your review of that house?
Very Bride of Frankenstein-ish, not very scary, but visually it was okay.
Okay. And the next one we went to was Goblins.
Yes, my favorite so far. Very action-packed, a few scares, but mostly it was fun. I liked it a lot. I'd give that one a 4.
She liked it a lot.
Liked it a lot.
We're at the show right now. It's not even 8 o'clock, but we've already gone to 5 houses. And we've done Flutter Cinema twice. A lot of houses in a short amount of time. So Aubrey, what did you think of that show? That was the first time that we've seen it for this season. And
Yes.
It was different.
It is. It's still nightmare fuel, but it's like traveling circus themed this time. There's a lot of fire.
Sexy fire.
A lot of sexy fire. So we were in like the 4th row and it was very warm. There's a lot of heat coming at us, but no, it was a really cool show. I like the concept. I think I like last year's show a little bit better, but
Interesting, because I like this show.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit more unique, but
I do think it's a little more unique.
I think last year we didn't get to see the contortionist, and there was definitely a lot of contortionist stuff that we saw tonight, so that was pretty cool.
I would say definitely sitting further. You can't really control where you sit in there, but I like missed some of the stuff that was happening in the very center platform sometimes. Like I didn't even realize there was a guy dancing over there at one point. But yeah, I need some caffeine. I'm starting to fall asleep. So
But you can't fall asleep. It's only
I know it's only 8:42.
We gotta go until 2 a.m. We gotta keep going, Aubrey. Let's get some caffeine.
I know we've done all the houses in the back, so now we're gonna ride some rides and head to the front. So with the RIP tour, the private RIP tour, you can be taken to the front of the line on the rides that are open as well. So we're gonna hit up Men in Black, Gringotts, The Mummy, and then go hit up those really scary houses in the front.
We also get access to private bars. So actually right now, we're in supposedly one of the most haunted areas of Universal Studios, which is the upstairs of
Lombards.
Apparently there's a woman in white walking around, but is that her? Oh no. We don't know.
No, it's just a team.
It's just a teamwork. On to the next ride.
And some caffeine.
Yes. So another feature of the RIP tour, both private and regular RIP tour, is an opportunity to get to one of these secret bars like we have at La Bamba. You can get a bunch of the HHN food for free because it's included. You can get free soda, water, unlimited food, a private bar so you don't have to wait in any lines. And there's a lot of really cool theming in here. There's a big giant bear in here that is folklore to Halloween Horror Nights. Maybe in the comments you can tell me what that is.
You were here a couple of years ago. We had a scare zone with Major Sweets Candy Company in New York, and they were doing like a hometown festival, and they put something in the candy that made the kids go crazy and hyper and kill everybody. I wonder what would be in the candy that would do that. Sugar maybe. So this is the prequel to that. So before the events where the kids go crazy and tear up the town and kill everybody in the town, we start out in the candy factory. You actually play a role in this. You're supposed to be adult escorts bringing like school kids into the candy factory and check it out. It's very circa 1950s in there, by the way. You'll hear the music right away and see the clothes and stuff I'm wearing. It's pretty toxic in there. I guess they kind of are worried about the health inspector maybe showing up as well. So it's a quick paranoid cover-up in there happening so they can get out to the parade on time, which is the aftermath you saw in a prequel house. Pretty cute house. It's a little bit gorier, right? I like the 55 they have going on in there, the candy factory stuff. This one is the one with triggers in it, but it's just activated buttons that you can push in there. So push that and see what happens. See a red button, push it. Called Monstruos, Monsters of Latin America. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on Latin American folklore, but all of these monsters that are in there are taken from known Latin American folklore. They're different creatures. One of them kind of captures people and butchers them up and eats their meat. One of them steals babies. That's the first room you're going to go into. Then there's the bird lady. So as we go in through there, it's just different folklore that people from Latin America are familiar with. And it's pretty neat going through the different villages and things like that. We're going to come out of there. There'll be a pretty short distance over to a quiet place. And of course, a lot of sign language is used because their youngest daughter of the family is trying to survive. Wears hearing aids, which they find out later on, certain frequencies can make their freak out, their skin expand, and then the vulnerable parts are able to be found out. So you've seen the film, Quiet Place 1 and 2. We're pretty much walking through some of the scariest parts of that. This one has the blackout curtains room to be as quiet as you can for pickup noises.
All right, next boomer review of the night. Number 1 was Major Sweets. How did you feel about that?
Well, let me tell you, I would not eat any of the candy in that house. And the children that were in that house need some discipline, and I'm not talking about a safe space or a timeout. Okay.
No gentle parenting.
No, it was kind of gory, a little gory.
Next was Monstruos.
Monstruos no habla español.
Yeah.
I'm sort of ambivalent about that one. It was a little bit scary, but not gory or anything. So it was, a 2 or a 3 on my boomer scale of 1 to 5.
That's a big word, ambivalent. Look it up
I
in
don't
the
know
dictionary.
what that means.
Yeah, I think our run through Monstruos, there were a lot of actors missing, so we're definitely going to do that one again. And then we just went through A Quiet Place. You haven't seen the movies.
No.
So how did you feel about that house?
It was scary because it was dark and quiet. It was suspenseful.
Yes.
So it was a pretty good one.
That's the name of the movie.
A Quiet Place?
A Quiet Place.
It was a quiet house. Wow.
Wow.
The house for us is Insidious, going into The Further. So for those fans of the movies, The Further is a demon dimension that they eventually have to go into to help save somebody who's trapped in there. You're walking in right now. Again, fans of the movies will see characters and demons that they've seen in the films. Red-faced demon, of course, one of the major players in there. But if you haven't seen them, it is one of our scariest. The tour guides have all talked amongst themselves. We kind of agree it's not only the scariest house this year, it may be one of the scariest in a long time. But it's right up there. Exorcist was our scariest last year. It's definitely right up in that ballpark. We're going to be walking right through the red door of your nightmares.
All right. Boom. A review for Insidious. How do you feel?
It was a scary one. I still think A Quiet Place was more suspenseful and a little scarier, but I think I would give both of those probably a 4 on my scale. I'm reserving the end of the night to see what's going to take number 5 or score a number 5.
I still think all of our runs through the houses tonight have not been as scary as my and Brian's first runs. So like Insidious and A Quiet Place were scarier the first time, I think. So those were 5, definitely 5s the first time we went through them. Hopefully you'll get to experience a 5. But now we're heading into the next one, the Triplets of Terror.
When they were designing the houses, that we didn't have what we call a slasher house. Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason. So we made our own. That's Triplets of Terror. On their 9th birthday, the Triplets, Junior, Melody, Harmony, without any kind of symptoms that the adults noticed, decided to kill everybody at their 9th birthday party. Ever since then, they went on the run. They've been avoiding being captured by kind of living like homeless people, under bridges, in the woods, wherever they have to survive. But every 10 years, on the anniversary of that birthday, only on the 10-year anniversary, they try to recreate it. They travel around the United States, going from small town to small town, and they don't just recreate like going to somebody's house and killing everybody in the house. They spend the entire time collecting things to make it like their birthday party. So they'll find another birthday party. They got to have a birthday cake for their birthday. You can't go to the grocery store and buy one. They have to kill a family that has a birthday cake and take that. All the little pieces. This house is a little bit confusing for some of our guests going in. When you first go in the first room, you are back at the 9th birthday party. You'll see some newspaper clippings up and announcements going on the TV in the background. Then you do, I think you're supposed to be passing through some of the other murders they've got, but again, the anniversary is tonight. Good luck. You'll see the progression as they get older and older. You're ready for Triplets of Terror.
Ready.
It's based on the latest Ghostbusters movie. I think everybody said they've seen it here. We are going to be entering right into Ray's Occult bookstore, and the guy brings in the spear that has Garaka, the spirit of fear, in there. So basically you get a lot of scenes from the film. There are some classic characters that are going to pop up in there as well that weren't necessarily in the Frozen Empire film. Also, fun fact, they went out and found a guy who had the same model car that Ecto-1 is in the original movie. Then they cut it in half. I know, and it's in the house. So the car you're going to see, Ecto-1, the nose, front end sticking out, was a real car. Presumably, though, nothing vital is there in the middle, so you can weld it back together in the future, but it's in the house, so it's a lot of fun. You guys ready to go see Frozen Empire?
All right, it is 11:33, and we've done all 10 houses, plus we did Slaughter Cinema 2 a second time. So, as you can see, we've done 11 houses, it's 11:30, and we've done Men in Black, Gringotts, and saw a show already, and ate twice. We've eaten twice. So we've already done a lot, and the night is still young.
I will say, usually the houses get better as the season goes along, and I feel like this year they've gotten worse. Some of my favorite scares that I usually experience in the houses have not been there tonight. Like, the actors just aren't there. So that's been disappointing, but we're gonna go back through some of the houses and hopefully we'll get some better runs. But yeah, there are several elements that we experienced in houses on our first night here that have either been changed or like gone away. And they were things that I really enjoyed that I thought were scary. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this year's houses as a whole.
But we're still trying to see how many houses we can get done
Yes.
with a private RIP. We're up to 11, and it's 11:30.
All right, so we have completed all 10 houses. The last two more reviews we need are
Two?
Triplets of Terror,
Oh,
the slasher house.
yeah, that was pretty gory. I mean, it's a typical haunted house scare, jump scares and gore. So, you know, middle of the road.
Probably also some children that needed some discipline,
Yes,
or
probably.
maybe less discipline. Anyway, the other house that we went through is Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. You have not seen the movie.
I haven't. I'm not sure how I missed it because I've seen all the rest of them. A little disappointed that it wasn't more adventuresome. It was just kind of scary, but not real scary. So my favorite one, I think, is the Gremlin one. Goblin?
The Goblin?
Goblins, yeah.
That's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
The two scariest ones will have to move up to 5 is The Quiet Place and Insidious.
Yeah.
I kind of liked them all. I think the least favorite was the Universal Monsters.
It's like we're related or something. We have the same opinion about it. So we're going to keep cycling through some houses, go ride the Mummy, and we will check back in with you to give you our house count of the night and let you know how late we stay out. It is 2 a.m.
And we completed
A total of
21 houses. Several houses twice, several 3 times. And really in that last half hour, we went through houses completely alone.
yeah. That was fun. We were dancing with the goblins in the Goblin house.
Our guide, Todd, did a wonderful job of making sure to get us from point A to point B, telling us about the houses, giving us shortcuts, and getting our steps in for today, especially towards the end of the night.
Yeah. We lost the rest of our group. They were tired, so they left. So it's just us. But we mentioned at the beginning of this video, this tour is $5,000. It was just under that at about $48.87. The price does depend on the day.
You can get up to 10 people in this tour.
Yes, you can get up to 10 people. So I think if you had a group of 10 people that were each paying $500 for a full night of front of the line.
Unlimited, and making your own pathway, your own
Doing
agenda.
what you want, yeah.
Whether it's riding the rides, whether that's doing one house 10
Over
times.
and over.
You can do whatever you want.
I think it's worth it.
I would also say, so this is the end of our Halloween Horror Nights series for
Yeah.
2024. If you go back to opening weekend, it took us multiple days to go through each of the houses once. As this event has gone on for years, it has gotten to the point where you can't do this event in one day anymore unless you have Express. If you are paying for Express, it's almost as much as an RIP tour. And if you have a group of 10, you might as well do a private RIP tour, and you'd get the best of both worlds out of that. Because if you buy an express pass towards the end of October, you're looking at $300 to $400 for that night. You might as well get a RIP tour at that point. This does not include your general admission pass to Halloween Horror Nights. It is in addition to your ticket to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Generally, Halloween Horror Nights tickets are gonna be about $100.
So you're really looking at like $600 a person, but still, I think if you want to do this event in a night, have full control over what you're doing, and have front of the line all night, I do think that it's worth it. I mean, we went in at 5:30 and started the night with all of the food offerings at the beginning, and it's 2 a.m. now. So I mean, we spent a full
8 hours.
8.5 hours. Yeah.
What was your favorite house of the season at this point?
Favorite house. I've had the most fun going through the Goblin's house. Just because, like, I don't know, I just love that fantasy, kooky land. There were scary parts, but it was fun too. My favorite run through A Quiet Place was the first time we went through it, just because I didn't know what to expect.
That was opening weekend, right?
It was opening weekend, yeah. I mean, I think opening weekend was our best run through a lot of these houses. Insidious, A Quiet Place. What about you?
I think that my favorite house for the season has to be Insidious. Insidious is the scariest house, has the most like unpredictable scares. Because a lot of times at Halloween Horror Nights, you're like, oh, there's a boo hole right there.
You can see it.
You can expect to know where it is. Whereas in Insidious, they can pop out behind the curtains. And there's a bunch of different elements that the other ones don't have. I think Insidious has to be the best house.
It's definitely the creepiest.
So, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, at the beginning of this tour, spooky season, we had 666 subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can finally be monetized. So, help us to get there. Leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, bell notification, and we hope to be back for next year's season. Pause for yawn.
Pause for yawn. Okay, see you later.